Hey, what is up, friend and fellow anti-netters? Scott Shepard here. I am in my cave, my little library-like office, and I want to show you something. So, as you probably recall from my last video, my last real video, I record podcasts as well, which documents my journey as a badass in my own mind of running an analog knowledge business, where I get to write one thing a month and make multiple six-figure income and hell of a living doing so. But before that, before those podcast videos, I launched a video that documented my whole sequence of neuro imprinting, writing out The Great Gatsby by hand. Well, I want to show you what I do and how I'm able to then link that together to my anti-net Zettelkasten, a real Zettelkasten, a freaking analog Zettelkasten, none of that digital bullcrap out there. So that's what we're going to shift to. I'm going to show you something and my practice and what I do. So in the last video, I showed you in the practice of writing out a piece of text by hand, and it allows you to kind of imprint good prose and good writing onto your mind. And I like doing that by using a notebook, like a Moleskine notebook. And one of the issues that that may arise in your mind is that, well, this notebook and like a commonplace book is its own knowledge silo, its own information silo, and it is disconnected from a Zettelkasten, which is, arranged. It has a Zettelkasten. A true Zettelkasten has three parts: the index, the main cards, and then the bib box with your bib cards from reading. Okay, and the problem when doing and extracting and writing out pieces of knowledge or thoughts or even just neuro imprinting pieces of text into a Moleskine notebook or even a commonplace book, which a commonplace book is essentially just a notebook with headings, and I have some that are commonplace books up here. Okay, the problem is, look at, like, I have this amazing analog knowledge system right here, but it's disconnected from this right here, a commonplace book or a notebook. And all of these are all individual information silos that are each disconnected from the beautiful Zettelkasten. However, I want to show you something. I want to show you a way in which you can connect all of these information sources and create a river between them, such that they are not just information swamps that dry up. Like this right by itself, if this was not connected, this is just an information swamp with pieces of knowledge that will dry up because they are not connected with the ocean, the Zettelkasten ocean. So what we want to do is we want to create a stream between these different knowledge sources. Okay, so we want to essentially connect everything so that we have one big flowing river of knowledge and information. So here's what we do. I'm going to show you what I do. Is, for instance, I'm writing out The Great Gatsby by hand, and I came across this like nice piece of prose, and it goes, these pale flags, twisting them up toward the frosted wedding cake of the ceiling, and then rippled over the wine-colored rug, making a shadow on it as wind does on the sea. So when I came across that, I really liked that. I liked that this is a piece of prose, a piece of writing for describing colors. I like that he doesn't just say it's like a red colored rug or a maroon colored rug. He says wine colored rug. Now, what would happen if I didn't have a Zettelkasten? What would happen is I would completely forget about this. And when I want to use good prose in a Zettelkasten, what I do is I head over to the trusty old index and I go to the section P. Under P, I have this index entry for prose, and you can see it says the main part is 1380. So if I navigate over to 1380 in my Zettelkasten, my anti-net Zettelkasten, I find a section. Here's all of these like pieces of prose. This is from The Beautiful and the Damned. This is all collected over like years, right, of just great pieces of writing. Okay. Now, at the very beginning of 1380 /-1, this is something this is like called a branch collective. I talk about it in my Antinet Zettelkasten book, which is, you know what, hell, I'm just going to shill it. It is right there. You can look it up online, antinet.org. Anyway, in this section, I have a entry that says pros xrefs. These are external references. And it says a good color expression. Now, what you'll see is it says MB16/9. What could that mean? Well, I'll tell you what it means. NB16 stands for Notebook 16. And this is Notebook 16. This is my 16th notebook that I have. Here's the other 15. Okay? So this is Notebook 16. And then it says /9. What is 9? Well, if you open up the notebook, you'll see that there's little red page numbers in the corners. Well, NB16/9 means that it's on the 9th page. Thus, I am directed to wine-colored rug. So what I've essentially done is I have connected my Zettelkasten with a notebook. You can do this with a Commonplace book. You can do this with really anything. And what this unlocks for all of you that are analog knowledge developers, it allows you to link together your pieces of knowledge from within like the beautiful master structure of all analog knowledge tools, which is the Zettelkasten with the index, the magic of this freaking index. Whenever I want to look up pros, I look up pros right here. I navigate over here, and then it says, okay, for a good, piece of pros on that, on like good color expression, I can go over to Notebook 16/page 9, and it's there. This allows me to connect this silo, this information silo, this data swamp, essentially, this knowledge swamp, to my Zettelkasten, create a river between it, and thus this entire piece, this entire ecosystem is now an ocean of knowledge that is connected to different rivers, and it is the epicenter for my brain, for my second mind. Not second brain. No one wants a second brain because brains are just, biochemical crap. We want a mind. We want a metaphysical entity that works above and beyond the sum of its parts. And that is what a Zettelkasten is. And you have got to do it the old way, the analog way, the right way, the freaking Antinet way. Anyway, hope that helped you out. Hope you got something out of it. So that is a way to connect a Zettelkasten with a notebook, with a Commonplace book, with really anything. Because sometimes you just like to read and write on a notebook, a Moleskine notebook. So hopefully that gives you some ideas. Hopefully that helps you out. Just always remember one thing: to stay crispy, my friend. Peace and love.